Hi, I'm Doc AJ Chua and welcome to Adjusting Your Heart. We talk about mental health and relationships every other Friday, so please do subscribe. For today's AJ's Book Finds episode, I highly recommend that you buy and read Chad E. Foster's Blind Ambition. I bought this book at the Doulos Hope when it docked at the Manila Pier last month. The 2 points I'm going to share are the title chapters found in his book. Tip number 1, happiness is not a feeling. It's a choice we make. I couldn't correct my vision, but I could control how I chose to see the world. These statements came from Chad E. Foster, who lost his eyesight at the age of 21. When he was just 3 years old, his parents noticed that he would often bump into things, especially in dimly lit rooms. They took him to the doctor, and he was diagnosed with retinitis pigmentosa, a rare genetic disorder that affects about 1 in every 4,000 people. There's no cure and no effective means of slowing the progression of retinitis pigmentosa. The doctor gravely told them that Chad could go blind at an early age, and they have to prepare him for it. Thankfully, his parents allowed him to run and play as hard as any kid on the block. Though his limited peripheral vision often caused him to trip or fall down, this didn't deter him from playing basketball, football, wrestling, swimming, and water skiing. He rode a motorcycle and learned how to drive at the age of 16. He'd drive to school in the morning, then drive to his after-school job. But because he had night blindness, his parents fetched him at 10 p.m. He'd ride home with a parent while the other followed behind the wheel of his car. He stopped driving when his eyesight got worse. In 1996, the floaters or the dark little specks in his eyes became unmanageable. A 30-minute reading assignment became 2 hours because he had to keep stopping and resting his eyes. When he lost his eyesight at the age of 21, he became very, very depressed. He didn't want to live the rest of his life depending on others. Hence, he resorted to drinking and partying. It's a good thing that his cousin, whom he looked up to, challenged him to do something with his life. And then, the Lions Club chapter in Knoxville offered to buy him a highly trained guide dog, as well as sponsor his training at the Leader Dogs for the Blind in Michigan. These gave him hope. His friends and family members helped him record videos to match him with the right dog. The trainers needed to see how much Chad walked every day, how fast, the length of his strides, and the variety of street crossings and other obstacles he typically encountered. Chad learned dog psychology and behavior. He discovered that guide dogs are very smart and have been trained to sit still for hours. They're conditioned to behave in public transit, department stores, etc. Inside restaurants, they won't grab food such as steak. Chad had to learn how to navigate the environment and give instructions to the dog in ways that the dog can understand. This requires practice and repetition. Chad chose Miles, a German Shepherd. Together, they practiced walking down the street, stopping at each curb, while Miles awaited the next command. When Chad gave the door command, Miles led him to the building entrance. When he commanded the dog to go to his car, Miles would immediately lead him there. If there were 3 escalators, Chad had to ask someone which was the nearest one to his destination and instruct Miles. It was during his training at the Leader Dogs for the Blind that he realized how blessed he was. Many of his fellow students had serious health problems associated with their blindness. Some had been blind since birth, while others had physical and mental impairments that affected their sense of direction and learning abilities. 2 had to go for kidney dialysis every week. two women were not only blind, but also deaf since birth. They had an interpreter who tapped code into their hands. He was amazed by their courage and ashamed of his self-pity. He resolved to start counting his blessings and be happy. Like, he enjoyed 21 years of eyesight with all the pleasures and experiences it granted him. He was fit and strong, had good hearing, a sharp mind, and overall good health. He was socially confident and had an active dating life. Most of all, he had a loving and supportive family. Indeed, the foundation of happiness is gratitude. He believes that the most important factor in determining your attitude toward a situation and influencing the outcome is the story you choose to tell yourself about that situation. He chose to think that obstacles equal growth, which is our second point. Chad shifted his mindset from that of a victim to a visionary. Victims stay trapped. Visionaries bounce back. He could have used his disability to shrink away from studying and working. Yet, he learned to do a lot of things on his own, like shaving. Think of how hard it is to shave if you're blind. His clothes have tags like squares, circles, and triangles for color coordination. He looked upon obstacles as opportunities to grow. During his month-long guide dog training, he was shocked to hear his blind roommate Steve said, "I'm gonna go down and check my email." Huh? How can a blind man check emails? Chad discovered that there was a computer application that enabled blind people to operate Microsoft Windows through keyboard shortcuts and spoken feedback. It's called JAWS, JAWS, which stands for Job Access with Speech. Although JAWS was extremely difficult, Chad exerted a lot of effort to learn it. He used it to earn straight A's in his business courses and even became a dean's lister. His mom contributed a lot to his academic excellence. Back in those days, audiobooks were rare. His mom read aloud all his assigned texts onto cassette tapes. She'd do it till late at night, as she had a day job. Chad started at a top consulting firm and has built a career in the technology industry where he has directed financial strategies and decisions resulting in more than $400 billion in contracts. He created a customer relationship software for the visually impaired, which provided job opportunities for them. Chad became the first blind executive to graduate from Harvard Business School's program for leadership development. He had been featured with NBC, CBS, Forbes, The Atlanta Journal-Constitution, USA Today, Chief Executive magazines, and many more. He's currently an executive at Red Hat, one of the most innovative tech companies and the world's largest open source software company. He is also a renowned international motivational speaker. On top of all his achievements, he learned how to ski. He enjoys snow skiing every winter. He is happily married to Evie and has two adorable kids. Chad said, "Blindness is a gift that was given to me. People are often surprised at what I was able to achieve in spite of being blind. But on the contrary, I feel I am successful because I am blind, not in spite of it." So from Chad Foster's blind ambition, how to go from victim to visionary, we learned that happiness is not a feeling. And 2, obstacles equal growth. So my friends, if you're going through a difficult time, remember Psalm 55 verse 22. Cast your cares on the Lord, and He will sustain you. He will never let the righteous be shaken. If you're blessed by this video, please like, subscribe, click on the notification button below, and do share this video with others. Do follow Adjusting Your Heart in Facebook, IG, TikTok, and Signal GCTV 185. Take care, everyone.